Himmel the hero is the greater purpose fully realized. In many stories, the romantic subplots of the MC shonen hero are synonymous with saving the world and getting your girl. In this case of Frieren, it is easy to assume that Frieren was supposed to be that girl for Himmel, but she just wasn't. In fact, our boy grew shorter and died, with his legendary hero replica sword in hand, alone, no other waifus to be found. Just friends and family and an elf that realized something amazing way too late. This begs the simple question of why Himmel didn't just be more proactive in his pursuit of Frieren, the awkward girl with little social awareness, to even figure out what true love is really about. I mean, Frieren did teach Himmel a very important lesson of never trusting demons, and for Himmel to pull out the most devastating scene that I've seen our hero make by yeeting the little demon girl. So wouldn't it make the most sense that Himmel, that spent basically his entire life up until the hero's party, defeated the Demon King, that was extremely proactive on his journey, recruited allies, made tons of new friends, helped out the community in various ways imaginable, made the squad go on random side quests that also involved everything previously mentioned. This all-in-one generational people rizzer, this guy couldn't make Frieren realize her true feelings? That is the great lesson behind Frieren's eventual journey's end of finding Himmel's spirit in that heavenly place of Oriel. So, going back to our question of why Himmel didn't just be more proactive with his love life, it isn't about what he wanted or didn't want in love. It's what he determined what mattered the most. I'm gonna stop right there. Bro literally saved the world. He can literally have any girl he wants. What he wants. This. From an average guy's perspective, I think many of us would have went the route of trying to repopulate the world. But I digress once more. Himmel did the thing that mattered the most. He saved the world. Romance always comes secondary, especially if it gets in the way of your greater purpose. Not saying that friends and family don't matter, but we wake up every day to accomplish our goals and to fulfill what purpose we make of life. It is those goals and purposes you seek to fulfill that result in helping your family. So that's why fulfilling your purpose matters the most. The question becomes now that Himmel and the hero's party did the thing and defeated the Demon King. So shouldn't Himmel be settling? Well, if we look at Frieren's journey after Himmel passed away, it will forever be about his legacy, what he left behind and how that morphs over time of his great legends. Basically, what I'm saying here is that Himmel's greater purpose continues even after defeating the Demon King. How can one just stand there with his closest homies in the corrupt Pyther, in the infinite HP in Aizen, and just let the trope of hero getting the waifu just leave like the 10 years before of adventuring defeating the Demon King was like nothing? I mean, we got our answer from Frieren's perspective because 10 years really is nothing to her. But I mean, within those 10 years, a lot of significant things happened, so it shouldn't be nothing, right? But Himmel not chasing after Frieren in this moment, it tells us that heroes don't chase pussy. Alright, my real answer is Himmel's greater purpose continues on. The legacy, the generational Riz, is not only built during his great feats, but it is built communally. It is also built through the times of peace. Look at everything Himmel has done. Every single flashback, every single lesson, every single symbol that represents Himmel the hero. All of this culminating with getting Riz by Frieren herself, thus birthing the symbolism of these beautiful flowers. It is the beauty of the flowers that Himmel saw in the flowers that act as the symbol itself for the continuance of Himmel's legacy. Peace doesn't stop at defeating evil. Peace is preserved and passed on so that history doesn't repeat itself. There was a 50-year gap before everyone gathered once again to see the meteor showers as the hero's party. And it's within the mystery of this 50-year gap that would officially answer this question as to why Himmel didn't seek out the romance with Frieren. The implied answer here is within the statues, within the word of mouth, the essence of his being of his time on Earth as Himmel the hero that helped the NPCs accomplish random side quests, accept random gifts as a reward, explore every nook and cranny of an unexplored dungeon to preserve these experiences, the important lessons, and to maintain that peace for as long as possible for humanity to thrive. There is no greater purpose than this. There are multiple times throughout the anime, and it becomes clear in the manga what Himmel meant for the world. Frieren has admired everything about Himmel. It wasn't about the cheap, typical, shallow traits that anime stories like to exploit, but for Himmel the hero, it's about the legacy that he left behind. It is Himmel that helped show Frieren and make her realize years after his death that she appreciates him, making her realize even further the fruits of what life has to offer, and that extends to almost everyone that she meets from town to town and who she travels with. The ring may symbolize love and romance for us, but for Frieren, it is a treasure of appreciation of his overall legacy of someone she admires that she will probably eventually realize that she loves. Honestly, if you think about things practically in a relationship, your life goals kind of have to be in line. Frieren went wandering out on random adventures and collected random spells for 50 years, while Himmel is likely cementing his legacy in every imaginable way possible, working with the people. So basically we kind of have like a wandering recluse versus someone that is basically the symbol for the ordinary person. It's literally two different walks of life. While there is the motif of orphans throughout Frieren, it becomes clear as to Himmel's greater purpose. When you lose direction in life, it's figures like Himmel in its lessons that help exactly these kinds of people that seemingly have every reason to lose their way of life, giving them foundational direction. During Frieren's journey, now with Stark, Fern, and a little bit of Zine, it becomes more and more apparent what mattered the most to what Himmel left behind. Look at the results of what Himmel left behind for characters like Weirbull, and specifically for our crybaby shonen in Stark, who encompasses many aspects as a result of Himmel's legacy. It is Weirbull who personally told Frieren exactly how he feels about what the hero's party did and how much it inspired him, including the statue, his adventures, and his battle against one of the 7 demon sages in Bo's the Immortal, the Hell Emperor Dragon. That is the exact kind of inspiration and variations of stories that may last as long as humanity is still standing. That is the purpose of Himmel, being fully realized within other characters, and one where you also realize that maybe killing in self-defense is okay, especially when it comes to our green-haired monster. As Stark stares at Himmel's statues in every town, he becomes Himmel's reflection of being the community's hero and friend. It's that purposeful influence within the community that he doesn't have to do. That is a trend, and that is a lesson that we learn from Himmel that extends down to Weirbull as well. It happens in every town that Frieren's party ends up visiting, milking cows, saving cats, and inspiring the kids with his heroics. The theme of legacy, which trickles down to the tropes of his shonen training, becomes connected in this way. Some may say that this is the reverberation of Himmel's generational riz. Himmel is such a great guy that he has never done anything perverted that we've seen yet. That's just Stark himself pointing at boobies in the sky, because that's the shonen way. One of the most rewarding parts about Frieren's journey currently is seeing Stark actually live out the romance with Frieren's legacy in Fern. Stark and Fern is what Frieren and Himmel's what could have been. Even though the circumstances didn't align for Himmel and Frieren, what Himmel's legacy built eventually led to those after that got to prosper from what he left behind. It's like your parents making the sacrifice for the chance to build generational wealth, but instead, peace for everyone, which might be the most important. That is Himmel, the hero. To Frieren's perception, Himmel might be walking off into the light either for her missed opportunity or for reminiscence of her appreciation of a guy that made her see so much more to life. In reality, Himmel has walked this path since he was a child. And that is where Heiter's character proves and confirms Himmel's character and how much he believed in his goals for life. While Heiter himself has his own bout with the booze, he is a priest that represents the goddess's blessings. Even he didn't believe in Himmel, yet he followed him to the ends of the earth to see his best friend try. If his best friend was a non-believer, he wouldn't be able to leave the legacy that he built by trying to prove him wrong. That is the fortitude, resilience, and ironclad feeling of purpose of what Himmel wants to leave behind. Remember that Kraft the monk was forgotten with all of his great feats that we may never discover in the story. Gorilla Dubs didn't want to be like his statue. Zine finally took the liberty with a smack to the face that he wanted to live a more adventurous and memorable life, being remembered for everything good, peaceful, and to be able to teach that for many generations forward, hopefully until the end of time. That is Himmel the hero. While Himmel has always had it in him to do the impossible and to defeat the Demon King, it's the poeticness of Frieren showing the beauty of what could be the future. That is what helped become the catalyst for his desires to be that dude. We look for supernatural entities and figures to help carry humanity's knowledge and experiences forward, while it looks like Himmel never got to experience love, starting a family, and things that an ordinary person would want. But what he left behind and the impact he made was so much bigger. These are the kinds of decisions that we often have to ponder over. Romance and life purposes all have to align to get everything you desire. Over time, circumstances and priorities become much clearer. And so Himmel fulfilled his purpose. He chose legacy, and in doing so, he cemented himself in history that may forever live beyond the flesh, within people's memories, his legends, his lessons, and within people's hearts. Whether his physical appearance changes in the form of statues, the symbol that is Himmel the hero will forever remain the same. He never chased love, he chased meaning, and that meaning chased him back. In the end, he may not have gotten the waifu, but he got something even more impactful. Generational Riz! That's Himmel the hero. That is him! So yeah guys, let me know what you guys think about Himmel the hero. What do you guys think that he did for 50 years? Did he really choose the legacy of what he would leave behind? Or do you guys have other thoughts about why this romance never manifested? I mean, that is a big part of what we'll probably learn at the end, but let me know what you guys think. And do me a favor guys, hit the like button if you have generational Riz, and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.